Saturday Social is powered by FIFA 22 with PlayStation.
Right, only one place to start, Joe. Transfer window slams shut on Monday, and as you can see, the guests have got their no expenses spared true or false paddles in front of them. So we're going to be doing, for the last time, this transfer window, because obviously it shuts on Monday, a little bit of a transfer chat. Do you want to explain that to the viewers how this is going to work?
Yeah, last few weeks, haven't we? We've been doing 7 of the biggest ones. This week, because we are rapidly approaching the end of the transfer window, we're going to be doing a statement for each Premier League club. So 20 statements. The guests are going to have to say true or false and explain their reasoning within 60 seconds. We'll try and split it 30 seconds each, gentlemen. Right, let's crack on then with Arsenal. Pick your paddles up, boys, because the first statement is true or false. Not signing Vlahovic will cost Arsenal a top 4 place. He's gone to Juve. Ooh. 60 seconds. Let's go, Jalab.
Yeah, I guess so. I was quite 50-50 with this one because I think Arsenal can still battle for it even without a striker, but I guess having someone of Vlahovic's calibre would have been much more helpful, especially someone who is young, up and coming. They're building a young squad. Obviously, they're now missing Aubameyang as well. So, it would have. I don't know if it would have guaranteed it, but it would definitely have helped.
Rambo. True.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I think Arsenal need goals. You saw against Burnley that they practically can't put the ball in the net, and that is what Vlahovic does. I mean, I still don't think they would have got top 4. There are a couple of injuries away from missing out, but they need a striker and goals win your game. So pretty straightforward, I think, this one.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got 15 seconds. Should we just end it early? Do you want to go early on the first one? Give us a little bit more time on
we can do if you want. Yeah, it saves us time and hand, doesn't
let's
it?
ding ding now.
Straight
on to the next one.
To the next one, which is Aston Villa. This is going in alphabetical order, don't forget. The next one is Aston Villa. True or false? Big statement with this one. Villa have had the best January transfer window of any Premier League team. 60 seconds. Let's start it. Let's see what the guests go. They agree once again. Rambo, true.
Yeah, 100%. I can't think of any other team that's bought this many top players. Buying Lukaku from Everton was a huge deal because they've practically bought a player from a club they might be rivaling in terms of where they might finish. And then Coutinho back in the Premier League, everyone loved it when he scored against United.
I didn't.
Even one person.
I didn't, yeah.
Callum Chambers as well.
Yeah, Callum Chambers, a random one. But I think they've done really good business. They've plugged in all the gaps that they needed, I think.
And Zach, it looks like you agree.
Yeah, completely. Gerrard came in and has showed his pulling power already. I've always kind of said that I thought Matty Targett was a pretty okay Premier League left-back, and they've kind of improved on him, especially with the way that Gerrard wants to play his football. They've also been rumoured to be looking at another midfielder from Juventus, which to add to and bolster their midfield. Coutinho's fantastic creativity in the midfield. And yeah, Callum Chambers at the back, in case they get any injuries. Can't complain at all, I think, if you're a Villa fan.
Yeah, Gerrard factor's been big, isn't it, in this window?
Absolutely. Really
very good window so far for Villa.
By Villa. Let's do the next side then. This is Brighton. Now, the statement is on screen. It's true or false. Brighton should have sold Yves Bissouma this transfer window.
Ooh,
false. Why, Rambo?
Yeah, I'm not convinced as to why they would sell him now. There's no need to sell him. Also, I think actually his market value's at probably one of the lowest points it's been since he's been talked about. And I don't think anyone has the money to buy a midfielder in this window for 40, 50, 60 million. And I don't think anyone's that desperate yet. I think in the summer, if United lose Pogba, etc., then his value will go up and Brighton will make more money.
Out of contract in 2023?
Indeed, but they can sell him in the summer. I think why not keep him for the rest of this 6 months, rest of the season, see how far he can get in the Premier League. They've obviously been really, really impressive under Graham Potter this season. He's a vital part of that midfield and is so important to the way they play. And so if they get rid of him, they haven't necessarily got the replacement ready for him just yet. It might scupper the rest of their season. And they come to the summer, they can still probably get the same amount of money, if not more, as Rambo said.
Oh,
okay. There we go.
One, isn't it?
Yeah.
That. I was thinking that one of you might say true there. I would have probably said true, but
you're doing true.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to move swiftly on because the next club is Brentford, and the statement we are talking about with Brentford is as follows: true or false? Christian Eriksen will be Brentford's best ever signing. 60 seconds on the clock. Rambo, you've gone false, so just explain why.
Yeah, sentiment-wise, it is a very nice signing. I think it's very nice for everyone to see him back. But in terms of best ever signing, they didn't need him to get back to the Premier League. We also don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back. Hopefully he comes back.
We all hope that he does come back.
Yeah, I did see a free kick actually earlier this week, which he bent in top corner, hit the bar, and I was like, he's back!
You don't lose it.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know about best ever. I think they've had a few signings out there.
In terms of the calibre of player they're bringing in, though, obviously,
In terms of calibre, sure. But I think right now, if you look at them, it's got to be Ivan Toney. He scored 33 goals last season, in the Championship, 10 assists. He's the one that kind of got them into the Premier League. I think if you're a Brentford fan, as much as it's a great signing to bring in, you just don't know what Christian Eriksen you're going to get yet. Will he even be starting week in, week out in that team? So, yeah, I think it's a good signing. And maybe in the future, in a year's time, we could maybe say, best ever.
Okay.
I think it goes without saying as well. We all hope he gets back to where he has, having watched
Definitely one of the
what
most exciting.
Yeah, I'm pleased for him as well. I hope it works out for him.
Let's move on to Burnley then. I cannot believe this one's happening. I'm absolutely buzzing. True or false? Signing Wout Weghorst will keep Burnley in the Premier League. 6'6". Zach.
I'm really 50-50 with this, man.
Oh, they disagree.
Disagree.
Really
Really
50-50. I think it might be Burnley's time. Right, Sean Dyche isn't going to be happy.
Whether they sign him or not.
Even if they sign him, they need to sign someone up top because losing Chris Wood is the way they played their football. And Weghorst is an unbelievable guy to replace him. I just think it might be too late. I know they've got a lot of games. They're going to have to play a lot of games after another, a lot of games in hand. But I think it might be it for Burnley this year.
Big amount of goals he scored in Germany and in Holland.
Yeah, well, he averages just over 15 goals a season, 3 or 4 assists. That's 20 goal contributions. He's 6'6", man. And you whip that ball in the box, nobody's beating him in the air.
Dwight McNeil.
Yeah, exactly. You got Dwight McNeil, Max Cornet as well.
He's not played in the Prem.
They've linked to other players. I'm convinced that he'll be the guy that keeps them up because I also think Watford and Norwich are definitely going down. So I think Burnley will survive. It's Sean Dyche, 6'6" striker, man. Nobody wants it.
Come on, Big.
It's like his ideal man.
We've been chatting about Watford and Norwich in due course, but the next one is Chelsea. So the statement we're saying with Chelsea is true or false. Romelu Lukaku will be at Chelsea next season. The timer has started. Got to come to Zach first because he is the Chelsea man, of course. True.
Yeah, I think so. I think when you spend £100 million on a striker, you can't just kind of call it quits after a year. He's obviously committed to Chelsea with a 5-year contract. The future, I think, and Chelsea have even come out as well and said, look, we're not going to be selling him in this January window. We're not going to be selling him in the window after that. So I think he'll definitely be there next year. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on at Chelsea for the rest of the season, and hopefully it's positive.
A lot of talk about Lukaku this month. What you think he will be at Chelsea next
You know
season?
what? I wanted to go here. Like, I know that doesn't exist,
On the
but I wanted
fence
to
a
go
bit.
there, yeah. The only reason I think he won't get a move is because I think there's Mbappe moving, Haaland's moving. I think there's a lot of strikers moving in this window. If they weren't moving, I think there's every chance that he could potentially go. Because I just think there's a lot of unrest between him and Tuchel, and they're talking about each other a little too much. But I just don't think he's going anywhere.
A little bit forced. Okay, let's move on to the next side then. Crystal Palace. True or false? Donny van de Beek, who of course is linked with a loan move for 6 months to Crystal Palace, would be a perfect fit for Patrick Vieira's side. Jalab.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise with this. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a great player, and he'd definitely be useful. But I don't know whether he gets in over Conor Gallagher. He's not going to really get in over Elise, over Eze, who's coming back, over Zaha. He doesn't really play those kind of wing positions like they do. Will Hughes, they spent a lot of money on. Are they really going to then go put him on the bench for the rest of the season? If you bring him in, it's fine, because I guess he rotate with some of them. You don't have to give so many minutes to Conor or Will Hughes. But I just don't think it's, like, perfect.
Rambo.
Perfect's a strong word.
Yeah.
If that was a good fit, I would have said yes.
We debated about
We
this.
need to change the word in here.
Yeah.
Perfect for me. Like, perfect would be if he's playing really well at United and he gets some move to Palace. I think he needs a change. He definitely
Does he
needs
start
a
for
change.
Palace in their best 11?
Yeah, I think he does. I think Will Hughes and him will probably battle it out for a little bit. If he's fit, clearly Patrick Vieira really wants him. I think he's an upgrade on what they currently have. But if he isn't fully fit or if he isn't in his best mood, then I don't know.
Okay, perfect timing, Rambo, with that one. We move on to Everton. Now, a bit of context with this. Sky Sports reporting last night that Frank Lampard is the leading candidate for the Everton job. So we expect that to be, we'll keep you updated if anything happens, of course, during the show. But the statement we're asking is true or false. Frank Lampard is the best appointment for Everton. And they disagree with this. Let's come to Zach, who is a Chelsea man. You're saying true.
From the available managers, like, the best appointment is Graham Potter. Like, if you can get him, but they're not going to get Graham Potter. So out of the managers that they've been interviewing and that they've got at the moment, I think Frank is probably the best guy they can go for. He's shown that he is very good with youth, and Everton's kind of academy with Gordon playing a lot, and they've got a few others coming through the academy. Calvert-Lewin, he's going to absolutely love. I think it is pretty good. But yeah, out of the options available, I think Lamps is best.
But you disagree, Rambo. You got false.
Yeah, Duncan Ferguson needs to get a chance. I think Everton is a football club where you don't want to go play away from home. They make it horrible, make it difficult. And when they played against Villa, Duncan Ferguson was there, and it didn't feel like anybody would want to go to Goodison Park. You've got to get the fans on board at Everton, and then you might go to Lampard or someone like that. I think he might be the good stopgap for 6 months, but I don't think Lampard's the right guy just yet.
Ooh, okay. It's going to be an interesting one because it looks like he is going to get that job. Let's go to Leeds next then. This is true or false. Raphinha should sign a new contract at the club. A pair of falses here, supposedly in talks. Why?
His contract is currently 2024, so he's not necessarily needing to worry too much about his future yet. He's a very, very exciting player. And also, if he wants a big move, signing another contract that could keep him there for a few more years makes it so much harder for him to move to a top 6 club or one of Europe's elite, which I think he has the capability of doing. He's only 25 years old. He's a very, very exciting winger. And instead, if he doesn't sign the contract, he could possibly move for free in a couple of years. Or if he does, then he's going to have to be like another £70 million.
Zach's just eating my time. I think his stock's high at the moment. I don't feel like Leeds are in quite the place that he maybe thought they were going to be in after last season. And I think also with a lot of people moving around this summer, now would be a good time to move, and Leeds will get a lot of money. And I think he fits into a lot of teams. I think he would have seen the Luis Diaz potential deal going ahead and gone, that was my chance. But he might go somewhere else.
Interesting. Good timing as well. Worth pointing out, Leeds have had a lot of injuries this season. And speaking of injuries, brings us nicely on to Leicester, because the statement with Leicester we are saying is true or false. Leicester must sign a centre-back before the window closes. Fofana, broken leg, of course. Evans out until April. They've had to play a lot of players out of position. True or false? And you're disagreeing with this. I'm going to go to Rambo first, because you're sort of on the fence again, but you're going false.
I can't decide, because Fofana's meant to be back at the end of Feb, which is actually only a month away. Like, we don't know how he's going to return.
Back in training. Games in a month, though.
Back in training. Well, according to the FPL website, he's back to play at the end of Feb. The only thing is, I always just think when they get Evans back, they have Vestergaard, Evans, Soyuncu, Fofana. They need to, if they want to get a centre back, they need to get a good one in. They can't just get any centre back in. So if the option is a top centre back or not, then I would say get a top centre back. If it's just centre back, then no.
He's eating into your time now.
I think they have to get someone in, man. Like Vestergaard hasn't really been great this year. He's not been fantastic. Soyuncu's also not been brilliant, and they need to get someone in case there is another injury. Johnny Evans is out, as you mentioned, and Fofana. A loan move, I think, would be perfect. We've said it so many times on Football Daily before. Joe Gomez, like the World Cup is in December. He's not playing for Liverpool. Like Leicester would be a perfect place for him to play for 6 months, maybe even next season as well.
Good shout, that.
There we go. All right, let's move on to Joe Gomez's parent club. Is Liverpool. True or false? Luis Diaz will start for Liverpool in their strongest 11. Now, a deal worth 60 million euros has reportedly been struck. Rambo, you're the Liverpool fan. Let's have it.
Love him. I think it'll take him a while to settle. Klopp always takes his time with players. We had Fabinho, Robertson. The only one he didn't take his time with was Van Dijk, also a January signing. But a lot of people were saying he takes Mane's spot straight away. The man is so slept on. No fullback in the world wants to play against Sadio Mane. I think Diaz will take a little bit of time to adjust to the league, to the language, and when his time comes, and maybe he'll be in the strongest 11. You can't get rid of Sadio Mane now, and he's just a top player.
Great signing, though, isn't it, Jalab?
Yeah, it's really, really good. He's an exciting player that has been playing for Porto. He had a really good game against City in the Champions League.
What a goal that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, he caused some nightmares for them. And for the future of Liverpool, that's so good for their perspective. Like, if they want to get Mane to sign a new contract and he's, causing a bit of issues, you just say, OK, well, we've got this guy to replace you, so don't worry too much about it then.
Yeah, totally agree. Gone a little bit early. I think it's a fantastic sign. Like you say, brilliant negotiating power.
Yeah.
Still only 25. I think 18 goal involvements in 18 games in League and Nosh this season. Not too bad, is it?
Yeah, it gives Liverpool so many options. And it's a nice problem for Liverpool to have, isn't it? From Liverpool, we go to Manchester City next. This is an interesting one, this one. True or false, Man City don't need to sign anyone to win the Champions League. Obviously, they came so close last season to get into the final. And we've got a bit of disagreement. So, Zach, you're saying true. Why'd you go with true?
Because Man City are just a machine, man. Like, Pep Guardiola is so tactically smart. He figures out ways to do it. I mean, they made it to the final last year, and realistically, don't get me wrong, Chelsea were really, really good, but Pep kind of psyched himself out by not playing a DM. Don't get me wrong, if they had a striker, it'd be great, but I think they could still get to the Champions League final and win it without one. I don't think it's the biggest thing in the world.
Because of the way they play. You disagree with that? You've gone false?
I don't think they're going to win the Champions League. So,
really?
I don't think they'll win the Champions League this year. So
who beats them then?
I would back Bayern. I also back Liverpool. I think PSG will go far as well, and he doesn't like coming up against Pochettino. I don't think them buying a striker would win them the Champions League. That's my point with this. I think they can. If I was to say, can they win the Champions League without a striker? Yes, they can, but they're not going to win the Champions League, so it kind of ends there for me.
Okay.
Fair enough. Rambo going early with that prediction, given they are one of the favourites for the competition, I would say. Let's move on to Manchester United. Then, not too much going on there other than outgoing, so we are going to talk about Jesse Lingard. True or false, Jesse Lingard will be at Man United for the rest of the season. Pair of trues. Go on, Rambo.
This is on the basis of Joe's Twitter. Joe went on a massive rant about why Lingard would stay and how it makes no sense for Manchester United to get rid of him. And I did actually agree with everything you said, but
Thanks,
I didn't want to egg you on by giving you a like or a retweet, so I just left it. But I don't see why Manchester United would get rid of him for a small loan fee, which I think is believed to be about 2.5 million. So yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. And also, United might be getting rid of Van der Beek. You need to keep this man there.
Got rid of Martial, potentially Donny. Amad's gone as well.
Precisely, man. And we know what football seasons can be crazy. One injury to a Rashford, to a Sancho, and Lingard might be quite needed, whether he's being rotated or whether he's starting week in, week out. And as you said, getting rid of those other kind of starting players, you need someone there. He signed the contract. I think, okay, he wants to be playing. He'll leave in the summer and then he'll have his chance to be playing a lot of minutes then to get into the World Cup squad for December. It's probably not exactly what he wanted, but it is what it is.
OK, so from Man United to Newcastle, a club Jesse Lingard was linked with, of course. And the statement with Newcastle is talking about Bruno Guimaraes, who, of course, 24-year-old Brazilian, heavily linked. Leon looks like it's happening, 33.3 million plus add-ons as well. I know that a lot of Newcastle fans happy about this, including Foz, the producer.
What a signing.
Very happy about this. What a signing,
yeah. Happened?
True or false, Bruno Guimaraes will be the best signing of this transfer window, is what we're saying. But they've both gone false.
What?
Rambo, why are you saying false?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of who might be a better signing, but I think Liverpool signing Luis Diaz might be the best signing of the window, especially for the amount Liverpool have paid for him. And also, I don't think Guimaraes is suited to Newcastle. I felt
in what way is he not suited?
I think generally, overall play-wise, Newcastle do need a ball progressor, but I don't think he's that guy. He will suit playing next to someone who's got a massive engine, and I don't think Jonjo Shelvey is that guy next to him. So yeah, Joe Linton. So yeah, not for me.
I like the signing. I like the signing a lot. I mean, to put it this way, Arsenal are after him. Like there was so many top clubs, and to get someone like
Juventus,
Newcastle, so for Newcastle getting this, really, really impressive. I just think there's some better signings. I think Digne for Aston Villa is really, really good, man. I think for that left back position to fit Gerrard's football is brilliant. I think Ferran Torres to Barcelona, he's a really, really exciting player. He's going to obviously, I think it's kind of Spain are banking on him to be their next star.
Been big for Spain, huge in the Nations League.
Indeed. I mean, Vlahovic as well to Juve. That might kind of help them back in the league.
Yeah, I do think it's a ridiculous move.
Very, very good signing, though. I agree. Yeah, I think
crazy they've managed to get that over the line. Let's go to Norwich then next, and I think it's fair to say no transfer business really that I've even seen being linked at the moment. But Dean Smith, we want to talk about him because it's back-to-back wins now, isn't it, against Everton and Watford, climbing out the relegation zone. So will they pull off the great escape? A pair of falses, Zach.
I really like Dean Smith as a manager. I just think, without bringing any reinforcements, especially in the goals area. Like Josh Sargent, I know he scored 2 in his last game, one of them being an absolute worldie.
I know.
Like a scorpion kick.
Technique on that.
But he's not going to be doing that week in, week out. We've seen that. We've seen the proof of that for the past the past season. Pukki as well is like fine, but they're just not scoring enough goals to keep them up. As well as I think Dean Smith is a good manager, I just don't think he's going to pull it off.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I love Dean Smith, but I thought Pukki might have a spell like he did the first time round, if you remember, where he had like 8 goals in 8 games.
Oh, I remember.
Joe was very worried.
I think if he can pull that off in the second half of the season, then yeah, great. But I don't think that's going to happen. And then I think they're really leaky at the back as well. Watford were terrible that day. I think they beat Watford 3-0, but it didn't feel like a 3-0 game. So on that basis and the fact they don't have enough goals, I think they'll go down. I think they'll go down.
It's a tough one, isn't it, for Dean Smith? Because it's the squad you feel like is quite small as it is, and they don't have
doing a good job though, isn't he? I always
January.
like how he talks after. He's very honest, isn't he, in his assessment of the game. He's doing a good job, so we will wait and see how that one progresses come the end of the season. Next up, we're talking Southampton. Now, we're talking about Armando Broja in a bit of context. Only 21 years of age, don't forget. He's got 5 goals in 18 in the Premier League, and of course, he's on loan from Chelsea. So the statement we are saying is true or false. Southampton will sign Broja permanently. The guests disagree. Zach will come to you as the Chelsea man.
Inside knowledge.
No, I'm just thinking with from my heart, man. No, Broja's such an interesting story because like his academy, like he got into the academy quite late, like they gave him the contract quite late, and he's really like blown up in the past couple of years. I don't think anyone quite expected him to be doing what he's doing, and he's impressing in the Premier League, which is such a. He's not out in Germany and doing it. He's showing he can do it in this league. I think Chelsea. It's going to be interesting how they go about it. I don't know his current contract length at the moment, but from the heart, we're not going to sell him.
You don't need him, man. You've got Werner, you've got Kai Havertz who plays up there, you've got Lukaku. Let the man fly. Like, He suits Southampton so much. I absolutely love him. My only worry is Southampton don't like buying players. So they're going to try and get him for like 1.3 million.
I know.
And that's going to be a big problem, but they have to keep him, and he needs to go somewhere where he can play. Like he's
another loan move. Just give him another loan move. Don't sell him.
They sold Tammy last summer, didn't they? So whether or not they sell another young,
a couple of other clubs linked with him as well, worth pointing out. So another one that'll be fascinating to see where he does end up. Good player, isn't he?
Absolutely. Chelsea are so good at just offloading fringe players for like 25 mil, aren't they? And they're just banking that cash. Let's go to the next one then, and it is Tottenham Hotspur.
Yes, okay.
We're going to talk about them, mate. I'm sorry.
I'm happy to talk about Spurs.
I know it's been an emotional day for you, mate. You've been in the mud.
Have I?
But Antonio Conte, true or false, Antonio Conte needs to make signings to make the top
Look
four.
how quickly they put the paddles up. Unbelievable.
Smithy's in tears. Rambo.
Where's this come from?
You can't bring Conte in and not sign players. He is a manager who needs players that fit his system. And I don't think Spurs have them players at the moment. And the fact they were closing in on Luis Diaz, closing on Adama Traore.
Why are you laughing? Unbelievable.
And the fact they haven't got either of them, and practically anyone they go near ends up somewhere else. They need.
Zach's laughing as well.
It's all right, mate. Don't worry. It's all right.
The window's still open. I'll just remind people.
They need to sign players. They need to, if they don't give Conte the players he wants, Spurs will not get anything out of Conte.
Well, I mean, I really worry for whether you have Conte after in 6 months' time. Like he's obviously he's come into this situation. You assume being promised signings, being promised players to help him play his football, especially when you've got the likes of Harry Kane in his prime and Heung-min Son in their prime. You want to be getting players to help them get to reach that next level and get Spurs to reach that next level with them. You've got the perfect manager to do so. You're just not signing anyone.
Do you think Spurs will sign before Monday, though? Because there's 2 days left, or do you think...
Well, maybe a League One player for the academy, I don't know.
Surely they get someone through the door.
Yeah, I think that.
But it won't be the first choices necessarily, but somebody's coming.
OK, thank you, Joe, for that. Next up is Watford. Bit of a positive. Big week for Watford, wasn't it? Roy Hodgson announced as the new manager. True or false? Roy Hodgson... Well, I think this is a good appointment by Watford, by the way. Roy Hodgson will keep Watford up, but they're both going with false. Zach, why do you say false?
I really like Roy. I really do. I want to put it out there. I just think defensively it's not going to be easy. I think the other thing as well, with Newcastle having spent so much and having brought in so many talented players, I think they're going to kind of stay up and score enough goals to stay up. Whereas I think Watford, Norwich and Burnley just aren't going to do that. They leak a lot of goals. They do have Ismail Assar and they have obviously Emmanuel Dennis, who has been scoring.
Joshua King, you said there, Emmanuel Dennis.
But
you said
coming back.
But Roy isn't necessarily the same kind of attacking manager as the others.
In my opinion, Rambo.
I love Roy, but I just don't see how Watford stay up. I can't pick a team that's going to go down instead of them. That's the problem.
I think,
so, as much as I want Roy to stay up, and as much as I think they've got a good front three, Roy's not going to play the football to unlock that front three. They're going to be solid, and they're going to try and play on the counter. I don't see who else goes down instead of Watford.
I think I'm right in saying Watford's next game is Burnley, which is a massive game.
You can see it's made us thriving under Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, but there's a 6'6" striker on the other end.
Truth. Let's move on to the next one then, and this is West Ham. True or false, Declan Rice will still be at West Ham next season, obviously heavily linked with a move away from the club. Manchester United and Chelsea continuously linked to the tune of about £100 million, having a fantastic season.
Great player.
But you're both saying false, you think he's leaving.
I want to caveat it with if West Ham get Champions League football, he's staying. I think that's the big thing for him now.
Do you think they get Champions League football then?
No. Okay. Exactly. You never know. If they surprise me, you never know. But yeah, I think that's it now. Like he is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. Yeah. He's fantastic. Watching him week in, week out is so impressive. And at the end of the season, if West Ham don't get Champions League football, I think that's the next step for him to develop as a player. He wants to be playing in the elite competition. He showed how good he was in the World Cup. He's showing how good he is in the Prem. It's like City, probably.
Oh, City.
Nah, man. They've got Rodri. They don't need Declan Rice. It'd be a pity if he doesn't go to Chelsea because I want to see him and Mason Mount. on the same team. They've got the same haircut, they've got the same everything. They're made to be next to each other, but I don't think he'll go to Chelsea. I think he'll end up at United.
Come on, Declan.
United.
Yeah, I think, United need a holding midfielder, and if I was Ralph Rangnick or whoever ends up running the transfers, I would pay whatever money required to bring him in, because I think he's top.
In the summer, you think he goes?
Yeah, I'd pay that much. Mate, he's so good. Every top team has a top holding midfielder. He's up there.
Yeah, it's true that. Right, last, certainly not least, obviously alphabetical order, we talk about Wolves. By the way, I think it's gone a bit under the radar, the job that Bruno Lage is doing at Wolves, and how good they've been this season. True or false? The statement is, though, because they did lose Adama Traore to Barcelona. True or false? Losing Adama Traore won't affect Wolves this season. The guests disagree on the final one.
Oh, no, they
don't. Go on, Zach, you've gone true.
I mean, a player that scored one goal this season, you're not really going to miss that much, especially when he's one of your attacking wingers. We've seen recently as well, he's barely starting any games, he's coming off the bench. Bruno Lage has kind of pushed him out of the squad, which I would have never have thought I'd say of the Wolves squad 2 seasons ago. He was one of those vital players. It's sad because Traore is a fantastic player to watch. He's got all the assets. He just has no end product. He can't score and he can't assist. I mean, good luck at Barcelona. It might be slightly different in the Liga, but I don't think it matters.
I think he had a period when him and Jimenez clicked, and at that point I thought he's found whatever it is. Then Jimenez had the head injury, and I just don't think Adama's really been able to find the fix of how he's meant to play. And then obviously they've got Pedro Neto the other side, who's quite similar in the fact that you can enjoy him, but his final product is lethal. I don't think he's going to make too much of a difference. But good news, they've signed Hwang on a permanent deal, and he's going to make a difference. My boy.
There we go. So won't affect them.
It's going to be interesting to see what he does at Barca, I think.
Yeah.
Adama, whether he rips that league up, it just is a different beast.
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, and reportedly, as we believe, took a pay cut to go from Wolves back to Barcelona as well. So, that concludes the true or false section. Guests agreeing with a lot of the statements there, so it was enjoyable that.